That intro is from another one, but you know what? I just like seeing kind of around the world. And this one right here, for everyone listening, coming today, is something that's, I mean, around the U.S. Something I didn't even know about this loan program. And actually, it's funny when I told other people about this loan program, they're like, "Are you sure?" And then me and Valerie, I mean, she kind of walked me through kind of the process, and we ended up closing a deal on it. But anyways, if you're here watching this, you probably have either a Native American background, Indigenous people background, whatever you prefer, or Alaskan Native. We're talking about, what is it, HUD 184?
Right. Section 184, basically the Native American Home Loan Guarantee Program. So it's a long title.
And the way, I mean, you best described it when we first started talking, was it's a mixture between VA and FHA. You want to kind of walk me that spark notes of how you kind of described it? Oh, I think I might have lost for a second. So, yeah, mixture between FHA and VA. So, no PMI, and also kind of like the VA, no PMI. Like FHA, it's really low down payment, 2.25, right?
Right. Yeah, just a little history on the program. It was really designed to get onto tribal trust land in 1996. And I started working with the program in 97 with a tribe in Oregon. At that time, it was just on reservation land. It was not on fee simple yet. And the program was a hybrid of FHA and VA. So the 184 as it is today, and it's changed a few times along the way, but it does have a minimum down payment of 2.25%. It has a 1% guarantee fee like VA that is financed. I mean, it can be a cash payment, but usually financed. Right now, there is no monthly mortgage insurance, and that's awesome. So basically a small down payment, guarantee fee is financed. They're not income limits, but there are county limits for you can link that if you want for the California, borrowers as far as the max limits for the county. You just basically, it's a tribal member from any of the federally recognized tribes across the United States, Alaska Native, and over here in Hawaii, we can do loans on Hawaiian homelands. So it is administered through the Office of Native American Programs, which is a division of HUD. So it is similar to an FHA with a couple little twists along the way, and it has its own underwriting guidelines. So we basically will use our own set of guidelines when we're qualifying a borrower, which as you experienced with your client.
So something that, again, I didn't know, we first talked about, there's only a couple of different lenders that do this program. But then also something I was talking to my cousin about, right? Because they built a property on their reservation. Mm-hmm. And not even, you cut down the current lenders that actually will give you a loan to build a house on the reservation with this program too. So it even cuts even smaller.
Right. It's, over the years, I think that there's a lot of desire to work with our Native communities and to build homes on and off reservation with this program. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity and I've loved working with it, but it takes a lot of, processing, loan officer, education. When you're dealing with on reservation, you have the Bureau of Indian Affairs, you have the tribe, and off reservation, you still have to have that support staff in your office to know how to process these loans. So over the years, it's sometimes just a manpower thing, trying to have a local or have a lender who's willing to put that time and effort to basically have people trained. And if you don't do a lot of these loans in a year, then that's a lot of, you can then not have the power of being able to do the loans enough to stay current. So, there have been a number of different lenders over the years that have really stuck with it. And, that's been a priority for me to work with this program. And we can do it's got a great new construction program. It's a single close construction. We also have a rehab loan and we can do refinancing. So there are a lot of great ways to use this program. And, whether it's on or off reservation, it's just basically going through the process of knowing all of the details as far as the qualifications and building and all that. It's like everything very detailed.
So how much Native American or Alaskan Native blood do you have to qualify?
So a tribe sets their enrollment percentages. So there is no common number. So one tribe might have, a 0.25% to be an enrolled tribal member. And that's the key thing. You have to be an enrolled tribal member, and tribes can change their enrollment criteria. So the first thing that we do, and the way I recommend people finding out about it, is if a real estate partner, just like if you ask a prospective buyer, because a lot of tribal members don't know this program exists, but if you ask a prospective buyer, just like you might ask if they're a veteran, it's the same thing. Are you an enrolled member of a tribe? And usually they will know if they are. And then if they are an enrolled member of a tribe, and right now there's approximately 562 federally recognized tribes across the country, and certain states are qualified. California is fully qualified to do the loan program, and you do not need to be a tribal member from California. So you can be a tribal member from across the country purchasing in California. And so really it's going to be up to the tribe. So we're going to ask initially, the minute we talk to the buyer, the first question I ask is, do they have an enrollment document? So it might actually be a tribal ID card. It might be a tribal document. And that's what we're going to use to show that their enrollment is active. So that's the key thing. Alaskan Natives have a little bit different documentation because it's based on what they call these corporation type documents. So, but the question right out the gate, because again, a lot of tribal members don't know this program exists either. I've been challenged over the last 27 years to get the word out as much as possible.
Now, do you know, I know you said that each group, each tribe has their own numbers. What's the smallest you've seen percentage wise compared to the largest you've seen?
The largest is I've seen only a tribal member in one of my tribes. It was a 50% blood quantum for the tribe. So, for example, my husband, he is an enrolled Creek tribal member. He has 3/4 Creek and 1/4 Seminole. So you generally only can be enrolled in one tribe. And so a tribal member may be essentially full-blooded Indigenous Native blood quantum, but then they're going to decide which tribe to enroll in. And the smallest I've seen is probably 132nd or something. So really it's very, very broad, and it really is tribe specific. And some tribes will stop their enrollment. So I've had tribes change enrollment. So if you cannot make any assumptions on that. And there's also a lot of people can get what's called a Bureau of Indian Affairs blood quantum number. They can use that for other tribal resources like Indian Health Services, but that does not mean that they are actually enrolled in the tribe. And that is the key piece, is enrollment in a tribe.
Well, it's just like, individuals like you talked about, check their VA eligibility, right? And that process of, of disability, and I'm at 50, I need to get 100 before I look to purchase, so I can save on property tax. If you think there might be an inkling that you might have some Native American blood running through you, you might want to get a DNA test. Yes.
It's basically, and I have worked with, the history of America with the Native communities is, that's a whole other conversation, but a lot of tribal members were taken out of their tribes, in the earlier 1900s and assimilated into cities. They may not have a lot of connection with their tribal history. And so if someone does have knowledge that they believe they are enrolled in a tribe, all of the tribes have an enrollment department, and people can reach out to their enrollment department and see what the process is in order to see if they meet the criteria to be an enrolled tribal member. That's also for tribal members looking for down payment assistance. A lot of tribes do offer, like the tribal members we just worked with, their tribe does have down payment assistance, but it might be specific to being on a reservation. It might be specific to the state they're in. So one of the things I always ask for when I'm working with a tribal member, what they might not know, but always reach out to their housing department as well to see if there are some housing down payment assistance grants available, because they partner really, really well with this program. But there is, of course, a paper trail process there as well. But yeah, the first thing is like, for in what I would say with my family and my daughter, my husband, and what we go through sometimes is people will assume they have native, blood, and they do not. But it's always worth, if you feel that you have a family history that is accurate, but your family may have been taken out of the reservation and assimilated into a city, then that might be something worth looking into. For example, in Portland, there are 30,000, urban Indians that have been assimilated into the Portland city that were taken from tribes across the country. So, you can really have a connection or a disconnection to where your original tribal roots were. So it's definitely worth looking into.
What's the platform? I mean, is there a certain platform that you can go to see which lender? I mean, ideally, if you're watching this, you're going to reach out to Valerie. And if someone basically wants to check to see if there's a group that someone closer or something like that, right? What would be the best way of them finding out who's approved by this program?
So if you go to HUD.gov and /code talk on the HUD website, that will take you to this, to the program, and that will have resources for borrowers and for lenders. And so there'll be a list of approved lenders on that site. I'm not licensed across the country anymore. When I worked at one of the big bank lenders, I was, but now so there are a list of approved lenders with the program. You do have to become an approved lender. Not just anyone can do it. And also there'll be some resources for some of the tribal entities, like the Bureau of Indian Affairs, a registry for the tribes that are federally recognized. So there's a lot of resources on that page. And if you have, if this gets distributed, I can certainly give you the link that you could put on the show notes or something like that. But it's basically, you can Google the Section 184 program, and the HUD website will pop up on that as well.
That's great. Yeah, and if you guys, I mean, if you're in Southern California, reach out to myself, 858-345-7829. If you're looking at another place, I could probably connect you to people we know in other areas. And I'm assuming Valerie, doing it for, she's at 27 years, I believe, right?
1997. So that's I was 10 years old. No, I'm just kidding.
So I assume she has some
my first loans with this program in 1997 on a tribal community up in Oregon. So
perfect. Yeah. So you probably have some connections there that she can probably connect you with too, with other realtors. So I mean, it's a great program. And one thing that I try to tell everyone that I talk to, just because one lender says it's not possible or doable doesn't mean it's not possible or doable, right? I mean, if you would have, probably talked to 80% of lenders out there, maybe 70%, somewhere in that kind of ballpark lenders. Hey, I'm a trial member. I'm looking to purchase a property. They would say, okay, well, here's an FHA loan, or here's, are you whatever conventional, right? They wouldn't know what's actually possible. It's no fault on them. It doesn't mean that they don't want hard doings to you, or don't want to basically send you in the wrong direction. They just don't know better, right? So if you hear about something, ask someone, and if they don't have the answers for you, or not really sure about it, talk to another person. It's okay to talk to 2 or 3 people, and then vet them, and then work through it, and then talk to them. So there's so many programs out there, down assistance program, all that kind of stuff. But this program right here is fantastic if you have the capacity to do it. Any last thoughts or words you want to throw out there, Valerie?
Yeah, sorry, it froze just for a minute, but I think the main thing, for sure, this is a great program. It doesn't fit in every circumstance. So, as a loan officer, when I can do other programs as well, a lot of times this program works great, but we might also come up against something. Maybe it's a property condition or it's a ratio condition. But it's definitely a great program to look into as a potential foot in the door. I think as we experience with our recent tribal members, the partnership is really important. Having a really good real estate agent like yourself, really partnering, because as you know from my first emails, closing quickly, which is a big California thing. I know that there are like 10 and 11 day closings. This is not the program that will do that, but we'll go as fast as we can. But that is where we have the teamwork with excellent buyers being in that team and the real estate partners and the escrow agents really trying to make it happen so it can go as smooth as possible. This is a manually underwritten program. We do not just run it through a decision engine. So I work really hard making sure that, and maybe it feels like torture getting all that documentation from the borrower, but that teamwork is key. And it can be, I love the success stories we sometimes will use with this program. And for the borrowers getting it, that it might not just be a first-time home buyer. We might be also looking with first-generation home buyers. So it's really, really an amazing way to have our tribal community, get into home ownership with a really safe, good, solid program. And, I loved working with you and it went really great. So, expect to see more of that for sure moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, when you're putting out an offer, then this is something you're going to talk to your realtor about. If you don't have a realtor and you're looking in Southern California, please reach out. But it's knowing what ability, capacity you have, right? Yes, there's some people that want their money really quick and they want a quick close, right? Yet you could also do shorter contingencies, right? Or you could put a higher deposit down, or price is a factor, right? Or rent back, right? So understand what's doable, what's possible will allow you the best way to shape the offer. So yes, some people like quick closes. Yeah, it's not everyone's gonna like it. Sometimes the other stuff is gonna weigh out basically that kind of fault, I guess, of it. But anyways, please reach out to myself or Valerie if you have any questions. We're here to help, and let's try to make your real estate dream possible.
Yes, for sure. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.